What's up, heroes and villains? Welcome to Cooking with Emoney. No, I'm actually just joking. I just thought I would make a little episode here. I've had a few people asking me like, "Hey, what what's up with this Submariner guy?" Or, what he used to go by, Guardiandb. You make a couple videos of him. I even have a few people that say, "Hey, you seem kind of obsessed with this guy." Um, no, as I titled it, I do kind of consider him my arch nemesis. We go back quite a ways, quite a number of years. The guy, anybody that's ever been in global chat or the old 5v5, would recognize this guy as he's just kind of an exceptional kind of guy. We'll put it like that. He likes to type all day long or get on voice chat and brag about how rich he is, everything he owns, everyone else is poor. He's came at me. I don't know. He has a bit of an obsession with me, I guess, too, to where, he likes to attack me whenever he sees me in chat, or when I log in, I'll see him start typing to me in global chat because apparently he's got me on his friends list. But about 25 days ago, he took it to the extreme, um, and he made a couple characters using I's instead of L's. So one of my alts is Electro Emoney, and another one of my alts is Ultimate Samus. You guys seen that in another video. And instead of the L's in those names, he used uppercase I's, and he proceeded to log on those characters, pretend to be my characters, pretend to be me while I was on those characters, actually. And he got into LFG and started trash talking the Pride community. Now, I can handle going back and forth with people. If he wants to say stuff to me, I say stuff to him. It's entertaining. Some people hate it, whatever, whatever the case, our banter back and forth, okay, whoever he is in personal life, the stuff he says or, tries to say he is, that's neither here nor there. You take that however you want to take it. Um, but when you get on a character and you pretend to be me and you start saying the most hateful, vile stuff I've seen, about people in general would be bad, but to go after people specifically about Pride Month, their sexual orientation, I can't even repeat the stuff he was typing. I immediately was getting tells from people because they thought he was me. I had a couple mails that I can't share. Like, people were like sending me in-game mails. Like, it kind of blew up, and it was pretty bad. And I got to a point like, okay, that's it. That's the last straw. I, contacted the developers. I generally only report people for extreme things. This I would consider an extreme thing. I mean, not only am I probably getting ignored by people that don't want confrontation, they think I'm saying hateful stuff, they think it's me, so they just throw me on their ignore list. Of course, that's going to impact my queue times, or the people that I can talk to or befriend or help in the future, right? You know, to the people that might not take any action, they're thinking negative things about me, maybe they'll never talk to me or do anything about it, but they're reading that stuff, and the next time they see me, they're like, oh, that's that guy, right? It went way beyond anything that this should ever happen in this game or in games in general. And so I just wanted to tell everybody kind of my side of where this comes from. I got a few videos now on him and just highlighting the type of toxic stuff this guy does. But what ended up happening is I screenshotted him. So he had two PSNs. The two characters that he was pretending to be me was on one account, and his main character, Guardiandb, was on another account. Well, I found him in the police station on those two characters that were, framing me. I screenshotted, his inspect screen, his PSN, and then I enlarged the chat box, and showed that, he says something, he switches back to Guardiandb, he logs off Guardiandb, he switches back to Emoney, he says a whole bunch of vile stuff, switches back to Ultimate Samus, says a whole bunch more vile stuff, then switches back to Guardiandb. It was just a huge list of him going back and forth. And he just thought it was hilarious. And he bragged for 3 days. That was on a Friday. He bragged on Saturday and Sunday. He could not be banned. He was untouchable. He's going to continue to do this stuff. He thought it was hilarious. Come that Tuesday, this was 25 days ago, he could not log on Guardiandb no more, and the other account. So he had two PSNs banned. We don't know for how long, if it's permanent. I assume the one for sure is permanent, but we'll find out at the 30-day mark if, in fact, he lost both accounts permanently, as I think he should, because any player, like I said, of course, this is a game, and especially in global chat, we all kind of skirt the line. We trash talk, it's usually competitive or fun, or, just random trash talk. But, he made it extremely personal, and he offended and hurt the feelings of a lot of people, whatever your political beliefs are, I don't really want to get into my political beliefs, but, I think everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe and identify how they want to. And no one should be, subject to that kind of hate. And whether he means it or not, framing me for that was just something that I could not look past. So, when you guys see the context of those videos that I make of him, keep that in mind. That's kind of where I've been pushing back on this guy. He wants to keep continuing to do this stuff. I'm going to continue to expose him and put it out there until the does finally had enough, because this guy has like 5 years easily of videos after videos after videos on the internet of him just being all kinds of toxic. I mean, beyond the level of toxic that you can even say is just trolling or having fun, right? Because there are people that like to role play and they're a villain and they want to say stuff. Hey, as long as you're within the guidelines and you're not saying hateful stuff and trying to, dox people like he has in the past, or, make threats or get on other media and, say things, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case is, taking it to that level. So I've kept it kind of in a professional sense. I've just been making videos and putting it on this YouTube that has to do with DC. So, that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And if he continues, I of course will continue to, send it to the appropriate people. But I just thought I would clarify for some of you that have asked, like, hey, who's this guy? Why do you have videos? He's basically, like I said, he's my arch nemesis. He's always going to be my arch nemesis until he decides that, he doesn't want to push me anymore, So with that, like, I just want to clear the air, let y'all know where that's coming from. And hopefully none of you run into the guy. I want to wish that on anybody, like, if you're not thick-skinned and you don't want to listen to all that, I wouldn't suggest coming to global chat. It's kind of a wild, wild west. But with that said, this is just a quick little video letting y'all know what the situation was. And until next time, keep those streets safe.